Hey, what's going on, guys? Josh from Trail Build, and you may already recognize the type of vehicle that I'm driving. If not, well, then stay tuned because we're going to give you guys a rundown on this 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ. Now, the Jeep Cherokee has been just a popular selling Jeep for many off-road enthusiasts because it is probably one of the cheapest builds you can get out of all of the Jeeps that are out there. And there was a shit ton of them made. I don't even know how many, but they ran from the early 90s. I think I'm going to be guessing here, so I haven't fact checked anything, but I think they ran from about 1988 or 87, I want to say, up until 2000 and maybe 2004. So quite the long stretch that these Jeep Cherokees ran for. And the reason they're so cheap is because there are so many of them, but there's also a huge aftermarket support for these Jeep Cherokees. So you guys have been asking us for quite a while if we could do some sort of cheap Jeep build, and that's what we're going to be doing with Meech's 2000 Jeep Cherokee. We're going to do a rundown on what the parts cost, what the vehicle itself costs. I think he picked this thing up for pretty cheap. I don't even know how much, $1,500 or something like that, but he picked it up for pretty cheap, and he's going to be building it. In fact, once we get back to the shop, it's going right up on the lift, and it's going to be getting a 3-inch rough country lift that you guys can find on trailbuiltoffroad.com. And that kit, for all of the components, the springs, shocks, and everything, was only $400. So we're going to start there with that 3-inch lift. And obviously it definitely needs it. I'm looking at my videographer here because we can just feel the front end is bouncing. The shocks are completely out of this thing. So it's becoming quite the fun little ride here. But we're gonna show you guys the cheap Jeep build with this 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ. So make sure and smash that subscribe button, guys, so that way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. This thing is actually in pretty decent condition. And we'll show you guys too. Meech, he works in our digital advertising department, and he drives a BMW, so he wanted to pick up something cheap to drive around. And what better option for a 4-wheel drive cheap vehicle than the Jeep Cherokee XJs. You can find these things all over the place, mostly 4-doors. They did make a bunch of 2-door versions, which aren't very easily they're not very easy to find. But these 4-door Cherokees are all over the place, and there are so many of them, so you can get them relatively inexpensive. And this one's in pretty decent shape. It did have quite a bit of rust underneath it, being up here in Wisconsin. It's kind of above the rust belt, so you do find that quite a bit, but it only has 122,600 miles on it, so barely even broke in. Has the 4-liter straight 6 in it, bulletproof engine. These things, you can't kill them. So we're gonna do a whole bunch of different modifications to it and then do a build sheet with you guys. And that way, if you are looking into, getting into off-roading or even just building a nice 4-wheel drive, the Jeep Cherokee is a really good way to get started. It won't break the bank. There's a lot of aftermarket support for the Jeep Cherokees, and they're good, solid, reliable vehicles if you can find one that's in halfway decent shape. So now that we're out of the cold, rainy weather and back in this nice warm shop, we're gonna go through this kit with you guys, show you what's all involved with it. First of all, this kit, this rough country kit, is only $390 on our website. So it's a heck of a good way to get started by lifting your Jeep for cheap. So what do we all get with this 3-inch lift kit from Rough Country? First of all, we get all 4 shocks, which, as you guys can already see, we definitely need them. This thing is bouncing all over the road. We also get these Add-A-Leafs. Now, the thing with these is that you may be able to retrofit them in with the stock springs, but sometimes these stock springs may be warped, they may be sagged beyond fixing, so you might have to replace the rear springs as well. So we're going to bolt these Add-A-Leafs in here and see how it does with the stock springs, but if they're warped or twisted or just worn out, we're going to have to replace them and get new springs. So then you get the Add-A-Leafs, which gives you about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of lift in the rear, and then you also get the replacement coil springs, which are going to be up front. These are 3-inch lift coil springs. You get the N3 Rough Country twin tube shocks with these nitrogen filled gives you a nice ride. And then you also get all of your hardware included in with this kit and some really good instructions. So this kit is a full bolt-on kit. This should be everything that you need to get that 3-inch lift all set up in your Jeep Cherokee for the 84 to 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ. Whether it's a Laredo, Limited, SE, or Sport, this kit will retrofit into every one of those trim levels. So with all of that said, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get this Jeep up on the lift, start tearing everything out and putting all of this in. Stay tuned. So we just got done installing the Rough Country kit on Meech's Jeep and just got back from taking it for a ride, and what a major difference it is. As you guys saw, the shocks before were completely blown out. This thing was just bouncing all over the road. Well, none of that, no more. Handles down the road really nice, handles the bumps really nice. This Rough Country kit does a really nice job for the price. So with that said, we are also gonna be adding on a few extra goodies on here that you're gonna have to stay tuned for, and we're gonna be doing a price breakdown. So we're gonna basically just show you guys exactly what it is to build a cheap Jeep Cherokee. So make sure and stay tuned, guys, so that way you guys can see exactly what it costs to build a cheap Jeep, especially with the Cherokees, because there's so many of them, and well, most of them are in good shape. And we're gonna be throwing on a few extra goodies on here as well. We're gonna be doing some steering upgrades, some lights, some rocker panels, some other things that you guys are definitely gonna have to stay tuned for. Not to mention, we're gonna be adding some pretty sweet wheels and tires on here, and we're gonna break down all the costs for you guys so you can see what it is and how much it costs exactly to build a pretty cheap Jeep. And with all of that said, that is all that we have for you today. So make sure and smash that subscribe button, thumbs up to like the video, and as always, we appreciate all of you for watching and all of your support. I'm Josh from Trail Built, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.